Hello, good evening and welcome to SKTV. You're watching the Manipur Files. I'm UTPALA LONGJAM, your host for tonight. And first, we'd like to apologize for the delay caused by technical issues. Well, the Assam Rifles, India's oldest paramilitary force, primarily tasked with guarding the borders with Myanmar and China, is referred to as the Friends of the Northeast. However, recent incidents in Manipur have raised concerns about the force deviating from its neutral and peacekeeping role. A notable incident involved the destruction of an Assam Rifles temporary camp in Hongbei, Kamjong district, by a mob reportedly composed of Naga residents. The mob's actions were fueled by accusations of harassment, including excessive frisking operations and the obstruction of timber transportation for construction. Despite interventions by local officials such as MLA Laishio Kaishing, the Assam Rifles' alleged uncooperative stance escalated tensions, ultimately leading to the camp's destruction. Allegations against Assam Rifles in Manipur include bias allegations, civilian harassment, interference with police, excessive use of force, disappearance case of Sanamacha in the past, and recently Kamal Babu, who vanished after entering an AR camp, raising questions about transparency, controversy over the use of drones to attack civilians, denied by AR but reported by locals, which is leading to the intensified calls for AR's withdrawal due to perceived bias and destabilizing actions. This growing distrust highlights the urgent need for the Assam Rifles to re-evaluate its role in the region to restore public confidence and uphold its reputation as a stabilizing force. So, the dilemma arises: Assam Rifles' role, peacekeeper or troublemaker? To delve into this crucial topic, we are joined by a distinguished panel of experts who will share their insights and perspectives. I'd like to welcome our panelists for tonight. We have Mr. N. IBUNGOCHOUBI, Executive Editor, Manipur Mail. Welcome to the Manipur Files, Mr. N. IBUNGOCHOUBI.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. SHANTA NAHAKPAM, Secretary General UCM. Welcome to the Manipur Files, Mr. SHANTA NAHAKPAM. And last but not the least, we have Mr. P. SONAMANI, who's joining us online, socio-political commentator. Welcome to the Manipur Files, Mr. P. SONAMANI.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Once again, a warm welcome to our three panelists. And we are privileged to have you here in the studio, and of course, we are privileged to have Mr. P. SONAMANI online with us. Let's start without any delay. My first question will be for Mr. N. IBUNGOCHOUBI. Regarding the incident in Hongbei in Kamjong district, the issue arose when the Assam Rifles allegedly blocked timber transport despite it being legally sanctioned for construction purposes. MLA Laishio Kaishing, who was present there after attending a wedding, attempted to intervene and requested the Assam Rifles to permit the transportation, but his appeal was dismissed. This raised questions about whether the Assam Rifles has overstepped its bounds and interfered in a matter that should have been under the purview of Forest Department or local government. In short, the Forest Department is the primary authority in charge of timber transport, with local authorities and government agencies providing support, while security forces like Assam Rifles should not interfere unless there are specific security-related issues. What are your thoughts on this?
UTPALA, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
I wish all the viewers of SKTV a very, very Happy New Year. The oldest paramilitary force in this country now, they have changed the motto, and they are now called the Sentinels of the Northeast. Earlier, it used to be the Friends of the Hills.
Right.
The topic, whether they are peacekeeper or troublemaker, I think this is how the biggest way or the challenge for the military or the paramilitary forces in this very region is how they maintain their relations with the people of this region, particularly Manipur, which borders a very long distance between Myanmar. I think it's about 398 kilometers with Myanmar. The infiltration is an issue. The infiltration of illegal people coming into Manipur illegally is one key issue. And of course, the very fear of the transportation of illegal arms and ammunition by the insurgents is also one key issue, which the Assam Rifles has been pointing out that there are possibilities of these two aspects. On the other hand, the general administration or the general transport of the commodities and travel of local people are often checked, and it is viewed as harassment. And sometimes, if we recall our travel to Moreh in the past, every single passenger has to get down from their respective vehicles, walk through, and all the vehicles are electronically, physically checked. And of course, there are many other issues which the common travelers see it as a kind of a harassment, which from the military perspective or the security perspective, whether it is the police, assault rifles, or the border security forces, which they call themselves as their mandatory duty. The issue which recently happened in Kamjong district, which the video went viral, the member of the assembly from Mr. Lesio. The contention is the villagers were taking wood logs for the construction of their local houses, which the forest produced. At the same time, the assault rifles, as you know, they continue to check the vehicles. It is a common sense. It is the prerogative, not a prerogative, but it is basically the common sense or the officers at the ground to understand whether, by looking at it, if you see the 10 to 15 trucks of logs, huge logs being ferried, their duty is to see whether they are carrying permits or they have the mandate of the forest department, after which they let the vehicles go, which we normally see. One aspect is the overloading of the vehicles. Some of the roads in the hill areas, as we used to travel, some of the roads cannot take more than 21 tons, 20 tons. Some of the roads are bad, and people who are carrying more than, to some extent, some of the narrow roads, 21 tons, it might lead to an accident. It might skid off. That was one worry. And some of the key pathways or the roads will be hampered whenever there is an accident, road accident. This is one worry. The press release given by the village authority that they have shifted on mutual agreement, which I got it around 12:30 in the afternoon today, which was circulated. I think some kind of a compromise might have arrived after the incident. However, our view is even for a common man traveling off and on, a check post or the basic demeanor of our security personnel. I was recently traveling. If there is a check post, you have to get down and report. I think to say that I'm traveling, if you are friendly, if you are the sentinels of the people, I think there should be one man on the roadside checking, rather than you having to walk up to that place. I think that is basically the failure of the public relations of any security, whether it is state police, whether it's a forest. I think this is a basic demeanor, the public relations of the perception management, that the security personnel will have to understand. They are there to protect the common people, they are there to help the common people, and they are there to assist the common people. I think this is one perspective that we understand. However, the general trend or the general understanding is that the kind of so-called audacity, what people said, the behavior, I think sometimes very unruly from the uniformed personnel. It is not only embarrassing, but we perceive as a harassment. I think this is our perspective. That is why, whether it is a peacemaker or a troublemaker, I think you are there to serve the people, you are there to assist the people. At the same time, you are there to facilitate smooth travel of people. I think this is how we look at it.
Right. Thank you so much for your views on this. Next, I'll come to Mr. Sonamani. Mr. P. Sonamani. A tweet says Assam Rifles will do anything except guard the border. What do you think about this phrase, and do you think it's acceptable for the Assam Rifles to engage in non-border duties, or does this undermine their primary mission of safeguarding India's borders?
Good evening to you, and thanks to SKTV for inviting me and our senior editor, IBUNGOCHOUBI, and my colleague, Mr. SHANTA, and the worldwide for listening it. I bow my head to all of you. Ms. Utpala, yes, Assam Rifle is a paramilitary. Assam Rifle is headquartered in the Light Corps in Shillong, headed by one Lieutenant General. Previously, PEACEKEEPER Lieutenant General, he was there. I think somebody might have taken. Assam Rifle main duty is to guard the maybe having now 46 to 50 battalion. Their imperative duty and their important duty is to guard and protect the safety and the security and the influx and the stop and apprehend the smugglers and the UGs, carrying arms, ammunition, unauthorized people's movement, etc. It's a lot of important things. But since past couple of years onwards, what I notice is that Assam Rifle has miserably failed to perform and to fulfill the duties assigned to them or attributed to them. You see that in the last, the more unfortunate incident, there is a battalion, just only a stone throw a distance from that battalion, headquarters battalion, and what is a multi-storied building near the Kuntonganbi, our goddess, our Ima, the temple is there. When the Mori was burning, even SPO was gunned down, and everything, or some looting, and everything had taken place. Assam Rifle just remain a mute spectators. What for they are being deployed there? What do they mean? Only simply to ask the identity. Mr. IBUNGOCHOUBI, he had narrated in detail. I fully endorse. A sepoy, just a sepoy, or one Havildar, one NCO, JCO, Junior Commission Officer and Assistant Sub-Inspector, he just sit down somewhere else, and his constable, his all armed personal people, they don't call constable, they are sepoy, they call it Assam Rifle sepoy. They behave as if that they should know that some courtesy to provide security and to check if required. Okay, if when the frisking is required, the women or the ladies, even they had been doing it. We have not complained, but there is some courtesy. It is not that one Havildar, he is just NCO, non-commissioned officer. He is nobody. He behaves because he doesn't know. He has not been briefed that in the national highway from Mori, the international highway, up to the Kohima or up to the Dimapur, there may be so many VIPs, so many important persons, so many bureaucrats, so many top-ranking officers, so many the news editors who had been doing the tremendous important role and pivotal role played by them. They are not supposed to know, I agree, but the courtesy and the mannerism and the respect should be a must. Assam Rifle, we have seen that the men only for the northeast, we agree. But during the incidents, when the numerous Manipuri peoples were gunned down by this Chin Cookie terrorist people in the Mori, was massacre. None of the Assam Rifle sepoy, they came out. They had been watching with the binocular from their battalion, from the top of the roof. They had been watching. What for them in? We do not know. After the death, they came out. They just try to sum up. They just try to show to and display to others or to the government of India they are performing duty. After the death, they came as a savior. Ridiculous. Yes, Assam Rifle entirely. I think there are a lot of things. Many people have been pointing out their fingers on them. I do not know why they have been pointed out fingers on them. During the last 1.5 years, we have seen that Assam Rifle have never came out to protect the lives. Rather than the some Assam Rifle people, they are unbecoming in a very despicable manner and obnoxious behaviorally. They cordon the one police stations, and you see the audacity of the Assam Rifle. or the paramilitary force. They are the paramilitary. They claim they are called paramilitary forces. But only the weaker section people, it seems that they try to cause some inconvenience or try to harass. This is the serious allegation is coming again and again. Why? So in the recent incident, Assam rifle, they should check, we agree. Government of India plan on contemplating that the Assam rifle should main all the borders. They will be assisted by the Manipur, some the civil administrations in routine, and by the police. They will check the influx. They will, okay, these are all the paraphernalia. Okay, but should know that they should know that a captain is just an officer. A commander is nothing. He is an officer. He should know that what is called the local people, MLA. And I am not asking that they should compromise in their duty or in their security matters. No, not at all. Are they serious? Are they really performing the duty? If they haven't performed their duty and to protect the border areas of the entire Northeast, why this so much influx comes? Why this so the illegal immigrants are pouring? And there were many incidents we came to know that they have been enjoying it with the dining and with the drink and dance and the dining it. Haath ka haath saath milao, dance karo, enjoy karo. This kind of complaint have been coming. This kind of photos have been, displaying it. So in nutshell, I say that Assam Rifle, look into it. You are not sacrosanct. We know that many Colonel Tomato in Haflong, and a Colonel the gold smuggler, Sadaji in Mizoram, and a lot of things, Assam Rifle. You are not sacrosanct. You are not you are not being sent or deputed by the God Almighty. But look yourself. You should know how to behave, how to treat other contemporary colleagues. There are a lot of important personalities are being moving. You must have a courtesy. You perform a duty, but you do it justifiably, and don't behave that you are supreme and having a gun. You are neither army nor you are Central Armed Police Forces. You are a paramilitary. Your duty is to perform, but you will have to liaise with the people. You will have to study the situations and the atmosphere of the local people. I'm not asking that underground, whenever they ferry the underground, you ask them, you localize with them, and you mix up or you allow them. No. You perform a duty, but should know that you must have a courtesy, pay respect, and get respect. Don't behave just like a gundas. That kind of a blame, that kind of dissatisfaction is been persistently coming up. So as a Nepali, you'll have to look after your such kind of unbecoming behavior. People are alleging it. We have had enough. We have heard it. Look yourself, and then you try to modify it and try to check yourself so that you become a gentleman and you perform a duty perfectly and promptly. We have no say to say. This is my humble submission in this first round.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. P. SONAMANI. Does it amount to harassment, or are they just mute spectators? I'll come to the next question for Mr. Shanta NAHAKPAM. Assam Rifles has been accused of being involved in narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and bringing illegal immigrants. It's an open fact that some army officers were involved in drug trade. A colonel was even caught red-handed and arrested along with 5 others in Palel town in 2013 with an amount of 15 crore rupees worth of drugs. What do you think about this, Mr. Shanta NAHAKPAM?
So the Assam Rifle has a very old story. It's a very old organization. You see, it was earlier the old name was Kasar Levy. When the British made this particular organization to save them from tribal raids in tea estates. Later on, then they got the name Assam Rifles only in 1917.
Okay.
So after 1917, you see, they have been engaged in maintenance of business, particularly protecting business during that time. After that, the 1930 or 40 something Assam Rifle Act, it allowed them to operate in three particular mandate.
Okay.
The first one is guarding the border. Second is maintaining law and order, helping the local administration to maintain law and order. Not particularly, they cannot do it by themselves,
Okay.
but they can help them, come in and help them
Right.
maintain law and order. The third is counterinsurgency operations.
Okay.
Counterinsurgency operations, as you see, since British era, they have been operating as a counterinsurgent operations, because during those times when the British used to needed some people to maintain or protect the tea estates, they utilized this Kasar levy, which is now called Assam Rifles,
Okay.
to to defend their tea estates from the tribal raids. So normally their history itself shows what they are here for.
Okay.
But after independence, they have been, the main task they were given is to protect the border.
Borders.
Protecting the border doesn't mean that they should be sitting idle, but since Assam Rifle is being, the most of the officers in Assam Rifle comes from army background, and the regular recruits are recruited directly to Assam Rifles.
Okay.
You see that the most of the commanders of Assam Rifle, they are deputed from, they come from as a deputation from the army background.
Okay.
So now what happens is the officers will never care. Since Assam Rifle people, I think they can come only up to captain. Beyond that, it is a recruit from army. It is a deputation. So most of the JCOs, then junior commission officer, then COs, for example, the Havaldars, then other high-ranking officers up to captain. I think Assam Rifle can get promoted up to captain. After that, the officers come from army background. Hence, the most of the organizational spirit which the high-ranking officers have, they will not care whether they are deputed at More, they are deputed in Kamjong, wheresoever, because the limit of their duty is very less. Although they have come to the Assam Rifle and they are being allowed to operate as an officer. Even then, the command is being taken by Home Ministry, because normally the army is being looked after by the Defense Ministry, but Assam Rifle is a central armed police force. It is not an army. It is simply an armed police force, whose mandate is to maintain border security, which also includes border security. Actually means it also includes smuggling of illegal items, including this thing, woods, teak, forest material, then whatever comes in from the border. Then they are also responsible for the illegal immigrants which come to our country, not particularly Manipur. Let's forget about Manipur. But Assam Rifle is responsible in the northeastern region and bordering China, for example, in Arunachal Pradesh, and the other states which border Myanmar, to maintain border security, which means they have to maintain that none of the illegal movement of illegal material, drugs, as well as people doesn't happen in this region. But the Assam Rifle seems to be more interested in looking after what is happening inside the state, inside the country, rather than protecting the trans-border movement of goods or trans-border movement of people.
Right.
Like the people of Manipur at present actually thinks that we have a strong feeling that the Assam Rifle has never returned in last 50 to 100 years where they have been operating in the northeast. They have never ever returned the actual position of the trans-border movement of goods or trans-border movement of illegal immigrants to the Ministry of Home. They have never returned. Had they ever taken things seriously, the number of illegal immigrants or the narco-terrorism issue in Manipur would have never happened. You see, the trans-border terrorism or trans-border movement of people, counter-insurgency for Assam Rifle only seems to be operating in the valley area, within the state or within the country, because they particularly come up with, during the night time. We have seen many incidents, like you just commented regarding Sanamacha, then Kamal Babu, then many other people are there who have been lifted by Assam Rifles at night and they were never found, or they were found dead. The case of Iche Manorama is also one big one.
Right.
You see, now if you talk about Assam Rifles, counter-insurgency doesn't mean that you keep on operating in the valley and bring peace in the valley and you leave the border porous, because they were the people, their commanders were the ones who were supposed to maintain border, border security, which means not only the illegal drugs or illegal material which are being moving through the border, but they should also maintain that the border area is being secured, and none of the illegal immigrants or arms or ammunition or anything be transferred to the state to help the militia or help anybody,
Right.
help the gangs. But there are incidents where, for example, let's forget about the previous years. Let's forget about 1940, 50, 60, 70, 80. Let's talk about 2023.
Right.
2024. 2024, when this conflict started, the Assam Rifle had caught one person who was a Myanmarese national who was trying to find the new route through Chorchanpur where he can bring in smuggled goods to help the cookies. The militants, basically, not the indigenous people. When we say cookies, I'm talking only about the cookie militants, not the indigenous people.
Okay.
Now, you look at the ICP in More or at Khudeng Tabi post. There was an incident when people from More had come down to take their pregnant wife to hospital in Imphal. But the Assam Rifles didn't allow them to move.
Right.
From Technopal district. They didn't allow them to move. You look at the security which they are providing. They claim to be one of the best force in the Northeast, which is helping India to maintain internal security, to maintain the law and order in cross-border regions. Then they claim to be guarding the border. But look at the things. The border area had remained porous. They have never returned. If I would claim that Assam Rifle has never returned anything about the cross-border movement of drugs or cross-border movement of people to the Home Ministry. That is why we are facing this situation today. Assam Rifle should have informed the Home Ministry. The commanders should have informed the Home Ministry that such things are happening. We are seeing a future that Manipur will boil in next 5 years, 10 years.
Yes.
The biggest example that they have never said anything to the Home Ministry is when PC Nair, the ex-DG of Assam Rifles, openly stated that cookies do not possess, the militants or the Sioux militants, Sioux signatories do not possess drones or weapons,
Right.
which is to be used in war. But now we can simply say, or now we have already seen that NIA report shows that drone bombings and rocket firing has happened in Manipur. So the top brass of Assam Rifles are to be blamed, who have now got retired because of this particular situation which is now present in Manipur. Secondly, Assam Rifle, maintaining law and order doesn't mean that you catch. There are provisions of law where they cannot interfere. For example, the trade of betel nuts. The trade of betel nuts happened through Myanmar in Kamjong district. Now at present it is not happening through More, but it happens through Kamjong district. And there is a custom department over there. There is a forest department over there.
Yes.
If the forest department and custom department want to steal and they have given requisite document for movement, then Assam Rifle is no one to stop them. It is not the duty of Assam Rifle. Assam Rifle we are happy that Assam Rifle is here in Manipur. They have been here. We salute them. We give them the high hands that they have also taken the role of and responsibility to bring peace in the state. And they indeed did it. But looking at the present scenario, they are also responsible to answer thousands of questions, which our government nor the Ministry of Home is asking to them. Yes, the government of India has shown that through action, the government of India has already shown by replacing CRPF or other CAPF forces instead of Assam Rifles, but they still have a mandate of border security, counter-terrorism, and helping in law and order. Helping in law and order doesn't mean that you poke your nose every time and now and then. I would like to put myself in this person.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Shanta NAHAKPAM. Lots of questions for the Assam Rifles, and apparently no reports seem to go to the Home Ministry, causing more problems for Manipur with its conflict. So the next question for Mr. Ibungochoubi, the question now that arises is whether the Assam Rifles is fulfilling its role as an impartial peacekeeping force, or has it, as it has historically done, or if recent events suggest that that it has become aligned with one side in the ongoing conflict in Manipur. The concern is whether the force is maintaining its neutrality or being seen as biased in favor of certain communities, which could affect its credibility and effectiveness in the region. Could you please share your thoughts on that?
I had shared my views on how the paramilitary forces in Manipur act or perform. The primary duty of the Assam Rifles, which my colleague has stated that it is under the Home Ministry. There was a debate, there was a discussion as to removing Assam Rifles from Manipur and to be replaced by other paramilitary forces because of the so-called feeling that they are partisan and they behaved with the view of being partisan. I had viewed in my editorial comment that the Assam Rifles is the reflection of how political leaders in the center think or they intend doing in Manipur. As we understand that the entire chain of command of any action would come from the three corps, which is the army. However, the administration comes from the Home Ministry. The chain of commands which the officers or the battalions, wherever they are posted, they follow orders from the Home Ministry. The behavior of the officers or the uniformed personnel of Assam Rifle in the last crisis or the event that has happened in Manipur, as we heard that we are yet to get order from the central government. I think this is one pathetic or a tragic scenario as media persons that we understand. When people are firing from your shoulder and when unwanted incidents are happening in your area of operation, and with that professionally trained armed personnel of the Assam Rifle, not having received any order from the central government, they remained a mute spectator to many events. As a doctor, if you see a patient while traveling, I think the basic responsibility of the doctor, which normally we see, is they serve the people, irrespective of whether they have come to their clinic because they are doctors. This is what we understand as from the humanitarian point of view. Any police personnel, any responsible personnel, when crimes are happening within their own area, and to say that we are yet to receive orders to intervene, I think that is the basic dramatic irony of what is happening in Manipur. That is how people from Manipur tend to say that they are being a silent spectator and to some extent partisan, because they are not reacting or acting which they should. I think that is one primary contention. From my point of view, anything that is happening in the rank and file of Assam Rifles is a reflection of the administration. If the administration is the government of India, if they feel that they should be working or they should be performing their duties right from A to Z, this is a directive of the Home Ministry, because it comes right from the Director General to the IGs, to the sector commanders, to the COs, and to the post commanders. These are orders being followed. And of course, if there are so-called hyperactive officers or little active officers out of their own way, that would be viewed as something, an annoyance to the public. And that is why we always say that what makes a difference, how a behavior is different from an officer and from a soldier. I think the officers are supposedly to behave in the most civilized manner to the people of this country. I think this is how we look at the officers of our own country. They are professional, they are called gentlemen. I think gentlemen officers is how we look at it. Utpala, one important issue that we have to understand is when they are here to assist the civil administration.
Absolutely.
When the paramilitary forces are here, when the Indian Army is here, they are supposed to work in tandem with the civil administration, right from DC to SP to OCs to a different level. That seems to be missing today. There is no relationship, there is no cordial relationship between the state police and the central forces, which is a havoc to the common people.
Absolutely.
I think this is what we have to understand. So we should be looking at how the central leadership is looking at Manipur and how the officers, how the battalions, how the Assam Rifles, the paramilitary forces should behave, should act and should perform. The first issue is they're here to assist the civil administration. They're here to maintain peace, and of course they're highly professionally trained paramilitary forces in the entire region, and they've been here for more than a century. Every nook and corner of our region is known to the paramilitary forces, particularly Assam Rifles. I do not think that the overtures of any kind of an officer, overtures of any battalion should be condoned, because they are supposed to be performing with restraint, and they always said the collateral damage or whatever, whenever there is any incident, the effort is to reduce the collateral damage to the general public.
Oh, right, absolutely.
At the same time, of course, we also need to understand. We also need to understand that the Assam Rifles is one of the largest paramilitary forces. In fact, the oldest paramilitary forces in this country.
Yes.
So we expect professionalism.
Absolutely.
We expect the very ethos, as I say, the sentinels of the people, the sentinels of the Northeast, earlier the friends of the hills. We expect them to understand the people. We expect them to understand the composition, the culture of our region, and the basic common sense should be applied, whether a particular truck is being ferried for construction or it is it's a smuggled item.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely right.
And that what makes a common man and an officer.
Yes.
I suppose we should believe that they are here to serve the people and they are here to assist the civil administration. They should not take the confrontationist stand.
Do you think it was intentional? Because what we can see is from the pictures, we can see that there was just one truck which was ferrying the timber, and it was very obvious that it was for construction purposes. And they did not allow.
I do not know, but one particular comment was the police or the paramilitary forces, they are silent spectators to huge loads of trucks ferrying or being taken. But whenever there are such things happen. So I think that is the basic, you cast aspersions on the behaviors of the particular battalion or a post. When you see loads of trucks going on the highway, and there's no intervention, there is no check, and while some small items are being ferried, so that is tantamount to harassment. This is what the common people feel.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
when before this very crisis, even small items that people were bringing, shoes to small clothes, I think that was being confiscated by the paramilitary forces.
Okay, absolutely unfair on the part of Assam Rifles. Thank you so much for your views, Mr. IBUNGOCHOUBI. I'll come to Mr. Shanta NAHAKPAM. Mr. IBUNGOCHOUBI spoke about the Assam Rifles being there and also try to reduce collateral damage, but what we're seeing is otherwise. And also the Assam Rifles can be involved in highway protection if security conditions require it, although it's not their primary duty, which their primary duty is border security, particularly along the Myanmar and China borders, as we mentioned earlier. And they have historically taken on additional roles in regions where local authorities require assistance, as we spoke in the previous round, especially in situations of heightened security threats. Do you think this would be the Assam Rifles being involved in highway protection, do you think this would be a beneficial move, or do you think it could lead to unintended consequences?
See, the Assam Rifles has been here in Manipur since ages, like since pre-independence or pre-merger to India. Now, how we can look at it as the Assam Rifles has very good relation with different communities in the state.
Right.
You see?
Yes.
And the Assam Rifle is also responsible to help the civil administration in the state to maintain law and order, which also includes the cry and the problem in the national highways.
Yes.
If the government of India orders the Assam Rifle to help the civil administration to open up route to Kangpokpi, route at Kangpokpi, which is only 15 to 20 kilometers at present, which we need to move, we need to open.
Yes.
Then certainly Assam Rifles can help. Assam Rifles, I remember one guy, one gentleman, Mr. Puneet Atwal. He was the CEO of 22 Air, who got transferred during this crisis. He was here at the starting of the crisis when we had a meeting with the Chief Secretary in his office. When the crisis started, a lot of trucks was stranded in Kangpokpi. Then I had to call him. I asked him that since the drivers of many of the trucks had called up, and they had informed that some looting and forcefully taken away of goods are happening. So we simply called him up. We asked him. He simply told us that there is the delivery of goods for the local people are happening, but there is no loot. But after some time, the government of Manipur decided to ask the trucks to move back. So they moved back to Mao, and we did the transfer of goods to some other trucks, smaller trucks, and it came through Kapjong. So there was no mandate. There was no mandate given to the Assam Rifle to clear the route.
Okay.
There has never been a mandate given to Assam Rifle to help the people in such a way that peace may prevail in the state. Yes, Assam Rifle did a very good job, very good role in the 80s, 90s in counter-insurgency operations. Although some of the people, some of our beloved, valley dwellers or hill dwellers have, been taken away by mistake or by force. What we need to look at is whether the Assam Rifle is operating on the mandate, or are they being operating on what their bosses are saying. As Tamo rightly pointed out, that the order will come from home, then it will go to the DG.
Yes.
Through the DG, it may come to the CO or the sector commander. Then the IGs will give order to the DIG. Then DIG will give commandant to the this one colonel. The level of operation flows down. So if the level of operation is flowing down, there has to be something where the level of information will flow up. The order will only come when the information will flow up, when the Home Ministry will look at what the Assam Rifle is doing, why this is happening in Manipur, or why what the BSF is doing, why we are not able to control this. So that is why I have been saying that I strongly believe that the Assam Rifle has not been sending a proper report on to their bosses in Delhi, so that the Delhi can take a political mandate through it. And through the messages which they have sent them, through the intelligence report which the Assam Rifle top brass has sent, only there has to be a political mandate for any troops to operate anywhere. If the Ministry of Home wants the settlement of the issue, if they want to open the road, for example, the Ministry of Home has never ever moved back in opening the Imphal Jiri route at any time.
Right.
Although there has been problem in Kaimai. There has been an ambush even to the CM convoy.
Yes, right.
Even then also the central government and the state government has been coordinating to keep one of the route still operating in operation. So why not Kangpokpi? There is something cooking. This is what I'm trying to point out. You see, if the government of India wanted Kangpokpi route to open up, I think they do not want the situation to escalate more at this point. But yes, there is something which the government of India is in negotiation with particularly the SU signatories and the center, without the knowledge of the state government or with the knowledge of the state government. But we as a CSO, we do not have any knowledge what is going to happen and how it is going to happen. What we can do is we can simply look at how the forces are operating. For example, sometimes we blame that the CAPF is not responding properly. Sometimes we blame that we also appreciate the CAPF being operating strictly to defend and protect the property and to maintain law and order. At present, if we see how the Assam Rifles have been doing things, Then More is also a perfect example where counter-insurgency operations, which was taken up by, after the killing of SDPO Anand, Assam Rifle had only, I think the Assam Rifle even used loudspeakers to stop the firing from both sides, the Manipur police and the militants. Is it not the mandate of Assam Rifles to neutralize the militants, Tamo?
Right.
Is it not the duty of the Assam Rifles to neutralize the militants? Why they were being silent when the Manipur police was fighting for this country, for India? Manipur police was not fighting for, particularly for Manipur. They were fighting for India. They had found some militants which shot down one of the senior police officer in the state, who was also working under the mandate of a constitution. Right. He was getting salary for maintaining law and order of the country, not only Manipur. You see, so there is a huge question. I am not blaming the entire Assam Rifle system, but I somehow, I somehow strongly feel that there is something which the Assam Rifle's hand is being bound with, and the center and the political decision. There is a need of a political decision where the Assam Rifle, should be given power to act according to the situation on ground. And Assam Rifle is one of the best force. They have the best relation with every community in the hills, and I think they can do it if they want.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Shanta NAHAKPAM. The question is whether the Assam Rifles is not given the power, are their hands bound? So I'll come to the last closing question for tonight for Mr. P. SONAMANI. The Assam Rifles have faced growing criticism in Manipur with allegations of partiality and misconduct. The Meitei community and groups like Maira Paibis accuse the force of favoring the Kuki-Zo communities and in the ongoing ethnic clashes, which they believe undermines the Assam Rifles' mandate as a neutral peacekeeping force. These accusations include militants to escape interfering with police operations and alleged harassment during routine checks. Do you think they are deliberately provoking the civilians, or should there be a stricter oversight mechanism to monitor the actions of paramilitary forces like the Assam Rifles in conflict zones?
UTPALA, Assam Rifle is a very, this organization is in a difficult situation now. Neither they are full-fledged army, nor they are the civil police CAPF organization. They are paramilitary. However, they are under the command and control of the three-corps headquarters. That means LONGJAM also comes under the three-corps headquarters, headed by a senior lieutenant general. That's called the three-corps headquarters. So they depend on the permissions or the directions from the government of India. But when the Assam Rifle is a lethargy, Assam Rifle is in a reluctant, Assam Rifle is not really protecting or not performing their duties. They mean that northeast only. When the Manipur was burning, Assam Rifles should have been allowed by the Home Ministry to intervene and to do the justice. They should mean business. But the Indian government remains silent. You must have seen entire Manipur was burning. Government of India remains silent. Neither army, nor paramilitary, nor central armed police forces were actively involved because they were not getting any kind of directions from the government of India. So I